Hey everyone, it's Brian with the CSP Recruitment and Orientation team. I hope everything is going well. The reason I'm creating this video is to show you all some of the functions Zimbra has to offer. I know in the last tutorial we posted on how to set up your Zimbra, I talked about sending a follow-up video, and so this is what this is. So I will show you some cool stuff. So you'll want to open up a new tab or window to access your email in case you forgot or need a refresher. You can do that two ways. You can go to this drop-down tab and click email, or you can go zimbra.wiu.edu. Perfect. You'll want to log in with your ecom username and then put your password in. So we'll get that going. Awesome. So what I'm going to show you first is the calendar function. So I'll click on that. You'll see my schedule is a little crazy. We're wrapping up the end of the semester here. So I'm going to go to a month where there's not a lot going on. So probably middle of May. Yep. So I have a fresh week right here. So this is what yours will look like. So let's pretend I want to add something to my calendar. And let's use the example of class. You know, we're all going to be taking classes. So let's pretend we have a class that starts on May 25th. And goes until the end of fall semester. Don't worry, classes do not start on May 25th and won't go into December, but classes do start in August, so don't forget about that. So let's pretend that class is from 9 to 11 a.m. every Monday. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to double click, and then this box is going to come up that says Quick Add Appointment. Now the subject is whatever you want it to be titled, so I'm going to do CSP/HEL class, since we have the two tracks offered through WIU. And the location, I'm just going to use my office location, which is Horben Hall, HH 115 on the Macomb campus. And then you'll pick the start and end time, so 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. I think is what I said. And then what's cool about Zimbra is instead of having to go through every single Monday and adding it, you can do the repeat function. You can do it here to every week. I'm going to show you how to further customize it just so this doesn't go on every week for however many years you use Zimbra. So what we're going to do is we're going to hit more details. And with that, I'll hit the repeat right here. So we'll do every week. And then what I like about this is there's a customized link, which I'm going to click so that I can pick a start and end time for when these occurrences happen. So we have weekly, every Monday, Monday's checked, we're good there. Now end, no end date, end after, end by. I always like using the end by. I think it's pretty useful. So I'm going to hit end by, and since it's going to start on May 25th, 2015, like I said, I'm going to pretend it ends in December. So I just find the month. I believe classes are ending this week, the week of the 14th through 18th, but let's just say the 21st, just to be safe. And once I pick that end by, I'm golden. So I'll hit OK. And then you'll notice over here, this is popped up. It says every Monday, end by December 21st, 2015, and it's effective May 25th, 2015. And so once I have that, I'm going to hit save and close, and it should pop up. So it did pop up right here starting on that day. If I click over, you'll see it keeps showing up. So I think that's really handy. So I'm going to show you now how to delete them as well, just in case you add something or a meeting changes or whatever that looks like. So you'll right-click it, and then when you right-click it, you'll have these two options, instance or series. Instance, you can go down to delete instance, and that's only going to delete the one on May 25th, but it will continue on for the June 1st or 2nd or whatever that next Monday is. If I go to series, I can delete series. So let's pretend I'm going to do that because for whatever reason I dropped a class, but you all won't be dropping classes. So let's just do delete series, and then you can do delete all occurrences. That's the one I usually use if I need to use this, but you also can pick the second option, delete this instance and all future occurrences. So it'll delete everything from that point onward, but nothing previously. So if you would have done delete instance in June, it wouldn't have deleted the May ones if you picked that second option. So delete all occurrences, and boom, it's gone. So that's kind of, you know, some ways that you can add things to your calendar. You know, you can add classes, work schedules, those meetings, whatever you want to add. This is your calendar in your Zimbra email, so feel free to do that. The next piece I want to share with you about the calendar function is you can share calendars with others on Zimbra. So you'll see down here I have a couple shares going on. Jill Bisbee, my supervisor, I have Michael Hamilton, who's my co-grad, and just some other people I'm working with. And when I click on those boxes, their schedules populate. So let's look at my co-grads, for example. So if I click that, and because we're in May, nothing's going to show up. But if I go back, since I have both of ours checked, it shows the overlaps and the things we have going on. So let's take away mine and just show his. So it'll just show his schedule, and then vice versa. This just shows my schedule. And like I said, it's cool because you can see the overlaps of when there's open times and things of that nature. So sharing is really cool. So I'm going to get back onto mine only and go back to that week. So with sharing calendars, how you'll do that is you'll go to calendar right here and you'll see this drop down tab right here. If you click that, there's the option to share a calendar. So you can share this with internal users or groups, external, and those kind of give you a little bit more insight on what those are. Internal users are anyone who has a Zimbra email account. So let's pretend I'm sending it to an internal user. I'm going to use, for an example, my previous supervisor that I worked with this past summer on the Macomb campus. Her name's Sarah Jewell, and she oversees orientation and works in the admissions office. So I would put her email. I could just type her name because it'll auto-populate for me. So Sarah Jewell, and then I would click that. And then once I click that, I can give her what role she has on my calendar. So I could leave her as a viewer, so if I did that and sent it off, she would only be able to view my calendar. She would not be able to add or delete anything. But if I would have put her to a manager status, then she could view, edit, add, remove. So depending on who you're sharing with, you might want to have a conversation with what those expectations look like. I know for those of you on the CSP track, you might want to share with your site supervisors. They might want to share their calendars with you, that kind of thing. So that's a conversation. For those of you on the HEL track, the one, all of you that are taking classes together, you might want to share your calendars with one another. You might not. You might want to share it with faculty or other professionals that you're working with on your campus. It's really up to you, but this is an option for you to do that. So I'm just going to, you would just hit OK, and then it would share your calendar with whose ever email you put up here. Something to note about this is just because you share your calendar with someone does not mean their calendar is automatically shared with you. So if I sent this off to Sarah and then she, can see my calendar and whatnot, she would have to do this same process and put in my email and what role she wanted me for me to see her calendar. So just know it works one way. I think that's pretty important to know. Some other cool things about the Zimbra email that I want to highlight is we have a briefcase option. I like to think of this as like an electronic jump drive or like a shared drive, those kinds of things. The reason I use it most is I will upload files to my Zimbra. So let's say, I click that upload. I'm going to choose a file. I'm just going to find something on my desktop. Let's go with my resume that I used this past fall. So I'll do that just as you would attach anything else. It also gives you a note section, so I could put fall 2014 resume, just so I have a little bit more context of what that file is once it's uploaded. I'll hit OK, and apparently I already have that uploaded, so let's not do that. Let's try that one more time. So let's do let's do this photo. So I'll hit open, same kind of thing, photo, I'll hit OK, and then it'll pop up right here. So it's kind of what you do, and then to delete it, you can just hit delete, checkbox it, and then that's kind of what you can use it for. I know I've put papers on here that I've needed to print out on campus, so that's an option you can use for. I have some things for work, so it's just an electronic briefcase, essentially. It's pretty neat. The last thing I want to highlight for you all are preferences. This is really cool because, I mean, these are all your preferences for how you want your email to look, how you want to interact with it, how you want your email to interact with you. So you can do, like if you go to accounts, let's say it'll show you your primary account information. If you go to mail, you can pick how your messages are displayed. You know, does a sound pop up when a message comes in? Does it flash? You know, whatever that looks like. So feel free to go through that and pick what feels best for you. The signatures tab, I know I use a lot. So I have a couple different signatures here. One for my assistantship in CSP recruitment and orientation. And then I have a couple, this one was my practicum experience in alumni programs. So I just updated that with the information of that site. And then my one for next year, for my next practicum. So what you can do is you just hit new signature. And then if you go over here, so let's say I'm going to start typing Brian Richter. It's just in plain text. So if I click format as HTML, it's going to give me more options to make them look more colorful and appealing to the eye, like these other ones up here. And once you have that, you know, let's just say I have that going. Automatically is there. And then there's the save button right here. So I could just save that, and then that saves any changes I make to that, and it says preferences saved. I'm just going to delete that, just because I don't need that, but play around with what you want your signature to look like. You know, you can make it whatever you want. There's other things about being out of the office, or, you know, your address book, you know, calendar. Once again, we talked about sharing. Too. So feel free to just take a look around there. I would say those three things are the things I use most and thought were really helpful when I was transitioning into the program. Other than that, I would say if you all have any questions, feel free to give us a call at 309-298-1183. Or you can email us at csp@wiu.edu. And then we can answer any questions, or if something didn't make sense, Jill would be more than happy to do that. All right, well, hopefully this was helpful, and we'll probably be making a few more videos just with other things that we think might help support you in the orientation process. So just be on the look on that for that information to be disseminated. So I hope you all have a great day. Take care.